Well, today's election day, and I wanted to share a few more thoughts about this upcoming presidential election. I'm going to talk about who I want to see win. I'm not going to just both sides this thing. I'm going to be a bit opinionated here. When looking at the two candidates, there is a major theme that we see in both of their candidacies and both of their records. I think it's something that's very, very important, very relevant in the world these years. It's the way that the first world and the first world powers, mainly the United States and their allies, how they are reacting to the rise of other countries. The third world, what we used to call the third world, is more and more disappearing as nations have become much more industrialized, much more wealthy. Standard of living is rising very fast in countries that used to be considered third world. Their economic means, the kind of control that they have on global affairs, and the kind of power that they can project. The world is changing very much in that way, where the so-called first world is every year watching other countries rise more and more to their level. And we see how politicians react to this. With both Harris and Trump, we see this in their foreign policy, in their border policy, in their economic policy, when they're talking about tariffs, when they're talking about sanctions, when they're talking about military support to this or that country, when they're talking about border controls, how they want to manage the people from other countries that want to come in to this country. So much of what we're seeing is the first world reacting to other countries, other peoples. And to be honest, I'm not impressed by the attitudes and policies that either of the candidates has shown on these issues. Let's see if we can fix this camera here, get some better lighting. I think that might be better. I don't know. My lighting's a mess here. So the attitude that I see behind a lot of these issues, whether, again, borders, tariffs, sanctions, war, is the powers that be trying to hold on to their power, trying to hold on to their wealth, the attitude that if other countries have more, if other people have more, then we will have less. If we let people into this country and we have to help them, that means less for us. If another country's economy rises and they can produce more goods and sell more goods, that's going to mean that we lose market share. If other currencies or banking systems or systems of trade arise, that will threaten our own, so we have to stop those. It manifests in a lot of these different ways, and this solution that is being pursued on all these kinds of issues is to keep other people down so that we can have more. Again, whether it's keeping people out of the country because we don't want to help these poor people who might come in here, God forbid they might need assistance, or we don't want to see this country be able to build their economy, provide a better standard of living for their people because they might down the road provide a challenge to us. It's all around an attitude of making sure others have less so that we can have more. And I think that ultimately this kind of attitude and these kind of policies are doomed to fail. They go against the laws of nature, they go against the laws of Jesus, and they just go against the way that history moves. People will find a way. A lot of smart people all around the world who are trying to do things that will better themselves. And it's foolish for the rich and the powerful to think that they can always keep others down and that those lower peoples are never going to rise in their opportunities, rise in their economics, rise in the kind of say that they have in the way things happen in the world. It's going to happen, and you can either choose to go along with it, be part of the solution, or you can try to stall it, try to stop it, try to prevent it. And unfortunately, that seems to be the route that the United States has been taking under at least the last two administrations, probably going way, way, way back. Now, I'm just going to come out and say that I would rather see Kamala Harris win this election. Now, here's why. Of course, both her and Trump have records. They have been in power, but Trump was president. Kamala Harris was vice president. Trump was the chief executive of the country for 4 years. Kamala Harris has not had that opportunity. So when we come to judging people on their actions, there is a lot more that we know about the way Trump does things and less that we know about the way Harris does things. So we can judge people on two metrics, their actions and their words. Now I hear a lot of people saying, well, look at their sincerity. What will they do compared to what they say? And that's very, very hard to make a determination on. I know God can look on people's hearts, and he does, but God already has his chosen ruler, and that's Jesus, and we know the way Jesus wants to do things. That's kind of a separate issue. I mean, we don't look on people's hearts. I've been fooled by people who seem sincere, and then that show of sincerity was purely manipulative, and you can't really judge people based on how you determine their sincerity or trying to distinguish between what they say and what they might actually do. We can make determinations based on people's words and on people's actions, and that's also, very interestingly, the way that God himself judges people. How does he determine whether someone has done the right thing or the wrong thing? We know it's by their words and by their actions. So again, looking at the case between the two candidates, we do see actions from both of them, but a lot more actions from Trump than from Harris. So wanting to maybe give someone else a chance, someone who hasn't done very much and maybe will do things better, I say on that metric, Harris is the better choice. And when we're talking about words, what people say they're going to do, again, I don't see a whole lot that's positive from the two, but I feel like Trump is worse than Harris in the things he says. He has a longer list of people who he considers other, people who he considers enemies without, enemies within, a longer list of people than Harris does, and a longer list of the kind of things he would like to do to those people than Harris does. I don't hear the same level of animosity towards others out of Harris as I do from Trump. And that matters. When the candidates go out and make a case for themselves, it makes sense to listen to what they say and make a determination based on the case that they make for themselves. And I can say that the case Harris makes for herself sounds better than the case that Trump makes for himself. So that's my reasoning there. I do have a preference. I would be more relieved and feel a bit more at peace for the coming years for this country if Kamala Harris were president. One more thing, one more reason why, not a case for Kamala Harris, but just a reason to want to see Trump lose is the weirdness surrounding him and the way that it's pulled a lot of Christians in. Now, of course, there's perfectly normal, decent reasons to prefer Trump over Harris. You know, you lean Republican, you like those kinds of policies, or you just don't want the Democrats to get in power. There's a lot of good people voting for one candidate or the other, and I don't mean to make any kind of case that, you know, people voting for Trump have a problem, but some people voting for Trump do have a problem. They've gotten sucked into just a lot of weird conspiracy theory stuff, and I've seen a lot of that aimed at Christians. I've seen a lot of Christians pulling away from the teachings of Jesus and filling in that space with conspiracy theories, end time theories, just stuff that it really shouldn't have a say in how Christians live their lives and the kinds of actions they do. There are a lot of Christians who I think would benefit from Trump losing, being out of the picture. They can calm down, rethink things. I'm talking some weird stuff, you know, Donald Trump prophecies, Donald Trump inserting him into different end time theories, just kind of this good versus evil Bible-based fantasy-based kind of thing where Donald Trump gets put in and plays these different roles. There's some strange stuff out there that a lot of Christians have fallen into, and where they've left the clarity and simplicity of the gospel for something else that I think is a waste of time and needs to go away and go away for good. And hopefully Donald Trump losing this election will be a benefit to the greater church in that way. All right, well, those are my thoughts. I know I've been a bit opinionated here, and if you have anything to say about what I said or share your own opinions on things, please do in the comment section below. I will read and respond to those comments, and I look forward to talking to you again later. Bye for now.